Yeah, I won't see that either.
Hello, Bears fans. If you've learned anything about me over my 6 years drafting for Chicago, it's that I need help, especially with my first-round picks. There was Kevin White and Leonard Floyd. And then my biggest investment, Mitch Trubisky. And I know you won't let me forget about Adam Shaheen in round 2. But those mistakes are a thing of the past because now I watch Draft on Tap.
Good choice, Ryan. Draft on Tap features Danny Shimon and Neil Stopchinski, two outstanding draft prospect evaluators. This season, they are totally focused on the Chicago Bears' needs and prospects that fit their team. Additionally, their guest list will include some of the most prominent names in scouting. So Ryan, bro, thanks for doing what thousands of others are going to start doing. Watching Draft on Tap with Danny Shimon and Neil Stopchinski, only on the Barroom Network. We could all use a little bit of help, right, Ryan?
Hey everyone, Ryan Badgley from the Barfly Tailgate Show, and football season is kicking off, and I know you feel like I do, so to steal a phrase from WWE superstar Daniel Bryan, yes, yes, yes! And I also know you are like me and you love the work Allen Robinson is putting out on the football field, but also off the field. That's why we're so pleased to partner with the Allen Robinson Within Reach Foundation. Their work provides educational opportunities and resources to low-income and inner-city Chicago students to help put success within reach. How can you help? Immediately you can visit allenrobinson12.org and learn more about what they are doing and make a donation. If you can't donate money, can you donate your time? The foundation is always looking for volunteers. And please let others know about their great work. In the coming weeks, the Barroom Network will hold some fundraising efforts, and we hope that you'll be a part of those. And again, let your family and friends know. Now, how about them Chicago Bears? I'm so psyched up for this season. I think A-Rob has 100 catches and double-digit touchdowns. Now let's bear down.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. Yo, we got some big stuff to talk about today. Besides Badge being in a helmet, I mean, Foles is now your starter. Tarik Cohen's injury, he's done for the season. There's Tyler Bray is on the squad. He's off the practice squad and brought up. We'll talk about that and why that is. We'll talk about Cohen's replacement, some additional people added to our practice squad, and not by the names of Tyler Bray. But first, we have Mr. Aaron Current, the Bearded Bears fan. AC
What's
in the place
going
to
on,
be.
fellas?
AC, what's up, man?
I thought for sure you was going to Badge first with that fucking helmet on.
I was going to, but I just gotta leave him. I gotta leave him
Oh,
sitting there for a little while.
It's another beautiful day here in Kentucky. Sun shining, dogs barking, all that fun stuff. My Wildcats decided to shit away a game yesterday, so I decided to drink myself into a stupor last night. So you boys on the struggle bus a little bit this morning, trying to get them electrolytes going. Hopefully the Bears don't let me down today, because I don't know if I can handle 2 days in a row. I'm in my 30s now, man.
Yeah, man, and we'll get into all that. I mean, the Bears game's been pushed back because of the COVID, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. Next, we got Mr. Ryan Badgley, badge of honor, helmet wearing freak. Badge, you dug your own grave on that one, man. Go ahead.
I totally did.
Let people know.
I totally did. So, what's up, everybody? Last week after the show, I said, man, I forgot I had this helmet sitting here. I should have put it on. I go, oh, maybe if the Bears win, I'll wear it next week to start the show. So as the game goes on, things aren't looking good. I'm like, oh, man, I'm kind of glad I got out of that. And then the miracle come back with Nick Foles. So here I am, man of my word, in a Chicago Bears 1963 throwback helmet. It is a full-size helmet, and I will be happy to take it off here in just a second. So I hope it looks good. I feel like I should wear this every day, because there's times I want to bang my head against the wall, and I think this would be very beneficial for allowing me to do that without, a major head injury.
Well, I was thinking that we needed the mouthpiece and shoulder pads and get you strapped up and ready for the game the right way. But, maybe we'll let you slide on that one. All right. Hey, everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us today. We're going to get down and dirty into some of this. Let's hit this quick recap. We got Mr. Dan Aguirre with Dan's Diary. He's going to hit this quick recap, and then we'll go from there. Ooh,
That wasn't the right one.
Oh, that's current events with Aaron Curran.
I mean, do you want me to jump into it?
This is Dan Aguirre's Bears Diary.
Indeed it is. My Bears Diary. Thank you, Amy. Entry number 3, 2020 season. The sheer joy felt by all of the anti-Trubisky people, such as Mark Silverman or Jonathan Vilma, whom subjectively battered Mitchell for 2+ quarters last Sunday. They must have felt orgasmic, pure ecstasy at the thought of seeing number 10 fail. I'm sure that it made them hard. Okay. Credit Emmanuel to The Joys of a Woman and its soundtrack to help convey that point. But all right, let's turn that down. I heard Carmen DeFalco and several others point out that the Bears had only successfully come back from 16 points or more in the fourth quarter 3 times since 1940, which is wow, because 2 of those 3 have occurred this season in weeks 1 and, of course, last week. And, of course, I remember another one in October 1998 when Eric Kramer brought the Bears back from a 27-10 deficit in the fourth quarter to beat Detroit, the Lions again, 31-27. Accordingly, I have to credit number 9. Well, this is actually a Jim McMahon jersey, but shout out to our new starter and Super Bowl 52 MVP, Nick Foles. Nevertheless, he led the latest comeback by throwing 5 touchdowns, albeit only 3 of them counted because of the worst official in the National Football League, possibly ever, Jerome Boger. Shout out to Nick for also having a great cock. That's right, Amber, she's the one filming this. His nickname is Big Dick Nick. So Foles and his big cock instructed Anthony Miller to get his ass over to the L and actually catch the ball this time. He did. And combined with the Gibson interception, you have a victory. Bears win 30-26. I felt terrible for Tarik Cohen to get injured on a fair catch, but for Trubisky to be forever labeled as a bust. And we'll take 3-0. Get well, Mr. Cohen. Glad you got paid. Keep your head up, Mitchell. But most importantly, let's go get 4-0 today. The Colts are favored? Why? Phillip Rivers has been in the league so long that I think some of his kids, he's got like 20 of them, are actually old enough to start being professionals themselves. Today, I will take Big Dick Nick and the Bears to prevail. Back to you, Bobby Bombs.
Old Dan Aguirre breaking it down as only Dan Aguirre can. Man, I love those Dan's diary, and he touched on a lot of stuff I wanted to say. How perfect was it that Anthony Miller catching the ball on the L to give the Falcons that L? I thought that was poetic. But that was great. Even wore his number 9. We all know Dan loves him some J-Mac.
Yeah,
and,
man. Definitely. I mean, just a total, just to kind of speed through this. We know everybody's heard it for the week, but I mean, they looked dismal. Another dismal game. Not really putting up the points, not doing it. I mean, we were getting beat down, man.
I was telling you guys, 10 points against the worst defense in the league. This is embarrassing. And then old Nick
and not for nothing, guys. To me, it was the quarterback play, and it's why Mitch Trubisky is no longer the starter.
He had a lot of misses.
The run game I thought was very impactful once again. This past game, and it was Mitch who couldn't hit the deep ball in any way, shape, or form. He just, I don't know what it is. His footwork supposedly had improved. He had had been working with a coach in the offseason to help with the footwork. And he's just, Ted Ginn catches the ball, well, it's out of bounds. That doesn't help anybody in that situation. The deep ball to Anthony Miller. Now, if Mitch connects on that, who knows what happens? Maybe that jump starts him and he goes off and we don't see Foles, but we know what happened. We witnessed it. He comes back and then throws that pick. How he didn't see the defender there, I don't know, because I went back and watched last night. I mean, he was all over the play. The defender, Mitch should have never thrown that ball, and now unfortunately it's cost him his job. And it's the end of an era for a lot of us. I wouldn't call myself a Trubisky truther, but I thought this guy had the potential to take this team and lead it to the promised land. Now,
we all saw flashes. That was the issue with Mitch, is he would give you those little flashes where he looked good and he looked like he could get the job done, or at least get it done well enough. But the inconsistency is what killed him. And just like you were saying about that pick, immediately after it happened, I jumped to Twitter and I'm like, how long is Mitch's leash? And then Nick came in the next drive, and I was like, well, I guess there's my answer. They answered me right away.
I mean, for a dude who, came out, he led 2 comebacks. Well, led a comeback in the Detroit game, held on in the, and to be pulled undefeated, right, just shows you that there's way more to this, man. I think even when Foles came in, you see like the pep and everybody else's step just kind of picked up, man. Like he's way more.
He's got that moxie about him.
Yeah, he does. Like, is he the guy? I don't know. I mean, is Nick Foles kind of just the backup of all backups? Like, can he literally lead a team throughout a complete season? I mean, he hasn't done it.
Not once.
Yeah, but I mean, to say that he doesn't change this team when he's on the field, you'd be crazy to think that he doesn't. He definitely provides more to this team. He, like the intangibles. He provides more leadership. We already heard. I mean, it's been said all week. We heard if this thing gets broken, if this play and I have to kill it, just run to the L. I'm going to throw it there. We heard Jimmy Graham come out and say like the leadership in the huddle and the way that he's like dictating what's going to happen there is completely, I don't know if he said completely different, but it's a change. Right. And then we heard we heard some of these coaches come out and be like, well, he's never seen a back shoulder throw before. So I think we'll do a lot better with Nick now. Like, so that's basically saying what, Mitch can't make a back shoulder throw.
Well, but that's my point, guys. What if this has been the ongoing situation in Chicago at the quarterback position, which it has been since Mitch was drafted, that's a problem. And whether it's Ryan Pace that was pushing to make Mitch Trubisky to start the season this year when Matt Nagy knew it wasn't going to work, well, to me, at this point, I don't want Ryan Pace picking my next quarterback. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Come this offseason, depending on, how we finish this season. I just, you heard last season how Mitch was a leader, and in 2018 he steps up, he's a leader. But now you hear Jimmy Graham come out. Granted, Jimmy wasn't with the team last year, but you've heard other coaches that have been part of this team knocking Mitch. Well, if everybody else knew Mitch wasn't good, why the hell was this guy on the field? And yes, I would say at this point, we're lucky to be 3-0, but I mean, come on. This is asinine that we've gotten to this point and that the organization hasn't addressed this prior to now.
Well,
and I think 2018 made it, oh shit, look at what we did in 2018. As long as we got this defense, we can win with anybody. Well, look at last year. That wasn't the case. Defenses figured out how to stop Mitch, and they did it. So at some point, Ryan Pace, again, has to take it on the chin. And to me, Ryan Pace ain't making my next quarterback decision because totally dropped the ball on this one.
Just have him draft a quarterback in the 4th round. We'll have a superstar.
Yeah, he'll be a stud. I mean, and the main reason I think is just because where he was picked, man, and they had to give him every just chance, and I think for a lot of us, the chances were out, right? It had worn thin, but then for a lot of Bears fans, one last chance was it, man. And to see what he can do. And I get it. We were giving him a chance while we were still able to win games. And if you're going to give somebody a chance, I guess that's the best way to do it. You're still winning games. So let him go ahead and continue with it. I mean, right here, you got Trubisky. There's the pick. And he just looked off on that. And granted, his completion percentage was still better than Nick Foles, but Nick Foles still came out and just tore it apart, man, and brought this game
back. Well, he
back.
wasn't good to start either. His first couple drives
he was a little rusty,
very impressive,
obviously.
And obviously he hadn't really been taking first team reps, so it's understandable.
Yeah. And I think but the one thing that Trubisky gives you that Nick Foles doesn't is his athleticism. You're not going to see Nick Foles take off for a 45-yard run, which was probably the biggest play of the Bears offense in the first half last weekend. Was when Mitch, I think it was in the first half, was when Mitch took off for that big run.
Yeah, and it looked like
he working the offense from the pocket, I guess.
Yeah, he just looked like, man, he was back and forth, like head on a swivel, trying to find out why nobody was anywhere near him. But I mean, I think Trubisky, whatever, man, it's over, right? I think he's done unless Foles goes down. He's done. Hopefully Foles can, carry us through the damn season. And who knows?
Rumblings on Twitter yesterday. I don't know how warranted they were, but
Yeah, well, I mean, we can move into that. First, I want to touch on something else first. Let's go, before we go into Bray coming up and the trade rumors going, let's go into Cohen. Fair catch, punt return. Gets rolled up on. Done for the season, man. Torn right ACL. He's out for the season. Now he's averaging six touches a game. I think it's something like that. But he's a weapon, man. He's something that teams have to prepare for, you have to set your defense up and be ready for Cohen, especially when you got Graham and you got all these other guys now. How big of a loss? We'll come over to you, Badge. How big of a loss is Tarik Cohen for this team, or is it, he's only averaging 6 touches? We can move it around. Maybe there's somebody else is going to jump out. How big of a loss do you think it is for the Bears that Tarik Cohen's done for the season?
Prior to last week's game, I probably wouldn't have been as disappointed as losing Tarik Cohen as I am at this point. I really thought they were looking to put the ball in his hands last week to make plays, and he was making plays. And you saw it not only in the pass game, but in the run game as well. He was picking up chunks of yardage. And I really felt like, I was like, okay, let's get Tarik the football. And it's rare where I'm excited to put the ball in his hands, because so often he runs out of bounds or doesn't try to pick up the extra yardage. And last week, he wasn't doing that. I mean, he was taking the ball. He took a handoff on a draw and ran right up the gut, right off the guard. I believe it was to the left side of the field, and picked up 14 yards. And I thought, all right, then they come back with a little screenplay to him, and he picks up another chunk of yardage. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And, this is a guy who, when the ball is in his hands, he can be a phenomenal playmaker. You saw it in 2018, what he did. Obviously, last year we didn't see it. 2016, I think you saw it a little bit too. But last season it was a little different. So now you've got to find the guy that can be your Tarik at this point. Because, I mean, imagine he doesn't get hurt, stays healthy, and this offense gets rolling using him in similar situations, and he's your punt returner. Now, it came out this week, Anthony Miller is now going to return punts, which I think is a fucking horrible decision. Guy's has had multiple shoulder surgeries in 2 years, and you're going to put this guy back there now to open him up to more punishment. Just a terrible decision. That's to me.
Cordero
you got
Patterson's
Ted Ginn.
So good.
Yeah, you got Ginn and Patterson
too. I mean, Patterson's so good returning kicks. Why don't you just put him back there?
Yep.
Is it that big of a difference? Put Mooney back
I'm
a short, fat, white guy. I've never returned a punt, but I would imagine that it's pretty similar skill sets. But I was gonna to go back to the Tarik Cohen injury. I hate it for the guy, honestly. He just got paid, so he's got that going for him. But it really sucked to see. And when he called the fair catch, and then, here it is. Oh my goodness! And as soon as it hit, I was like, man, he's done. He's done for the year. And they picked up the flag. And they said, well, the guy got pushed into him. Are you? How do you pick up that flag? And this guy just lost his whole season. But Artavis Pierce did get pulled up from the practice squad. He's got a similar skill set as far as the speed back goes. Obviously, if he's on the practice squad, his skills aren't completely as refined, I guess you would say, as probably Tarik Cohen's. But he might be able to fill a little bit of that void. But the punt return thing with Anthony Miller, I'm right there with you, Badge. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree, man. And like with Cohen though, overall, right? If you guys remember in 2018, we were complaining, and last year we were bitching and complaining because Cohen wasn't running up on these balls and calling for a fair catch. And like the irony of it is, he just now he comes up, calls for a fair catch, and then this happens. Feel bad for the dude. I think he's obviously for somebody to say that he's not a playmaker is just completely bullshit. I mean, the dude's a playmaker. He gets the ball in his hands and he's a weapon. Hopefully he comes back 100% next year. Hopefully he's ready to go. I agree with Joshua in the chat. Ginn should be our returner. Getting seen less snaps again last week. If Mooney's blowing up and Miller, is doing what he's doing, you got A-Rob. Like, why not make that for Ginn? I get he's older, but it's not like the dude. Maybe he's lost a step, but still, him losing a step is better than some people's initial step.
Right. Yeah.
So why not put him back there and let him be the punt returner? This thing with Miller, who knows, man? We'll see how it goes. I mean, I guess we'll see later today how it really pans out, if he's going to be back there for every punt return, if they're just going to kind of mix and match and move people in and out. Who knows? But I think definitely, as you stated, Badge, why put a guy back there who's already dealt with shoulder injuries last year to get lit up or to try to return
the last
it?
2 years he's had shoulder surgeries.
Yeah, I guarantee you guys think Bojack is over there raising his hand like, hey, I can return punts. I used to do this for a Roll Tide team once upon a time.
Yeah, he's probably like, did you see me return the interception? I got called back.
I mean, I would hate for him to have to do it, although that's just that's wishful thinking. I don't want him back there either, man, but I was just throwing it out there. The other thing that we got this week, the other news, I guess, besides the whole COVID thing going down, was Tyler Bray was brought up to the practice squad, or from the practice squad to the team. He's QB3 still, and this set off a whirlwind of just possibilities and speculations and opinions and all this shit flying around Twitter and all your social media that, well, since Cam is now in COVID protocol and Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured by the doc and like all this other stuff happened that now it must mean, if Bray's coming up, it must mean that Trubisky's getting traded. Could it be a possibility? Sure. Why not? Right. But the actual thing is that through the NFLPA, I don't know the exact terms of it, but I know that they are able to change your active roster from 53 to 55. So the active roster was bumped up, and then Bray was brought up. Why Bray was brought up when you just lost a running back, or you have two inside linebackers who are kind of struggling. You have all this other stuff going on. Why to bring up a third string quarterback? Not a clue, but that was the outcome of that. Like that's what we're looking at. I don't know. I don't bring up Bray. I bring up another guy. I bring up a guy who, anybody else but Bray. But that's what they ended up going with. They brought Tyler Bray up. He's gonna he'll be on the sidelines, I guess.
Dude, if this guy takes snaps, at any point in time in this season, I'm not fucking even gonna watch.
Kyle Long on,
all three
Twitter
of us
yesterday, it was like Bray can sling the pill.
Yeah, I looked at people. I'm in numerous Facebook groups, and I'm watching people talk about, oh, hey, maybe let's see what Tyler Bray has. He's got to be better than Mitch. Gee, you people, some of you people that are Bears fans, you are not bright, and you have no clue what is happening in this organization. Because, yes, there was no preseason, but if you've watched the last 3 seasons with this fucking guy in the preseason, he's terrible. I don't care if he can throw the ball 140 miles an hour. It doesn't matter.
Mitch overthrow receivers. Oh. I watched Tyler Bray for 4 years right down the road at Tennessee overthrow all of his receivers.
Yeah.
That was a laugh-row Bray, though. That dude looked like a damn weirdo back then. I have a picture. I should have sent it to one of you guys. I'll pull it up and show it to you here in a minute. But let me ask you this, and let me ask the chat too. If Mitch is on the trade block to either New England or LA, to the Chargers, to all these teams, all these guys that are facing this whole COVID thing, guys that are facing injuries. If Mitch is on the trade block, do we then have to go get another quarterback? Because you have the unreliable Foles, who knows how many we're going to get out of him.
He's never started a full season, right?
Yeah. Or do you keep Mitch sitting there as your backup, knowing that he's going to be gone at the season? So I guess the question is, do you keep him as your QB2 or do you trade him away?
Try to get something for him?
Yeah. Go ahead, AC.
That's a difficult question, man, and that's I mean, you kind of put me on the spot here. I wasn't expecting this question, but I don't know what I would do. I guess just to get something from him, I would trade him, but I wouldn't just because we know the Patriots are low ballers. I'm not trading
Right.
him for a fifth or sixth round pick, which is probably what Belichick's going to try to send us for him. I'm going to get at the very least a third round pick, and I don't know if we're going to get that out of him. I've told you
You're
guys
not.
in private. Yeah, I've told you guys in private. I see Mitch going to New Orleans and taking over when Drew Brees finally hangs up the cleats, which from the way he's looked this year might be at the end of the season. But we'll see. I mean, it seems like New England can just make a system with anybody as well. So
I don't see Mitch being traded. I don't see him going to New Orleans either because they have the other kid there.
well,
That
they
I
got
think they want.
Jameis Winston, but I could see those
Oh, no, I'm
two.
not even thinking him. I was thinking the other kid. The kid they use as the utility guy.
Taysom
Why?
Hill?
Yeah, Taysom Hill. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. I don't think Mitch goes anywhere personally. I think if you're writing Mitch off and trading him, that's even more of a reason for Ryan Pace to find his exit door. And the thing with Pace, guys, is I've always been a Pace supporter, even though he's some of the moves he's made with Kevin White, Leonard Floyd, Adam Shaheen. You can go into all that. I don't see Ryan Pace trading Mitch Trubisky to anyone, especially in the current COVID situation that we're in.
Yeah,
That's true.
I just don't see him getting rid of him. I think Bray will be the inactive quarterback today. I think it's just kind of a precautionary thing. So if he can be on the sidelines in an emergency, if he's needed. One of the other things that I thought of too is you think about Mitch and his athletic ability, and
That is your guy.
Smiling Bray.
there you go. That says
Tyler
it right there.
Bray.
You think about Mitch and his athletic ability and the way the Saints use Taysom Hill. Mitch could still be a factor in this offense.
I don't
with
want
some.
that though.
I mean, I don't either, but I feel like it's a possible option. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't not.
Yeah.
The guy is athletic. He's
Well,
an
Matt
athlete.
Nagy's not no Matt Nagy ain't no Sean Payton. So let's
Yeah.
Well, he's not Andy
know.
Reid either. So
That's
know.
true.
what
That's
is
true.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess
But
he's Nagy.
I don't know, man. I just if this whole COVID thing wasn't going on, I think it'd probably be more likely that Mitch would get traded. If this team or organization did what they should have done and picked up a young quarterback and got rid of Tyler Bray 2 years ago and been drafting quarterbacks these past couple of years and pulling people in here, I think it'd be more likely to trade him. But like we said, I mean, there's undrafted guys that Bears fans were clamoring for in like the 6th round or 7th round. And there's guys that we all would have taken, and they're still undrafted right now. And there's skill sets out there that match what Nagy wants to do way better than damn Tyler Bray does. And for some reason, we just keep hanging on to this dude. And I don't want to like, I mean, I get it. It's some of the news, but I really don't give a shit about Tyler Bray.
No.
If they trade Mitch, I'll accept it. I mean, I won't. It's not like I'm gonna get crazy. He's gone at the end of the year.
So it'd be
So
a mistake though.
whether or not they,
Because like we said, Foles has never started a full season. And you're gonna trust Tyler Bray? I
yeah,
just don't see it.
yeah, I get it. And
I'd
I don't
rather
either,
bring
but-
in Chad Kelly off the street and have him on the team rather than Tyler Bray.
Yeah,
Or
I'd rather
I think
take
Cole
a chance with
McDonald
one
got-
of us than
Yeah.
Tyler Bray. I mean, Jesus, I
I
weigh
really have
300
the arm
pounds, so I could at
strength. I
least
don't
take
know,
a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's, I mean, I can't throw because my shoulder's shot, but I don't know. I could at least run, and I'd probably run about
hand
5
off.
yards and have a heart attack. But
I think that this is one of those moves that to all of us it doesn't make any sense to get rid of him, but it's probably going to happen before the end of the season, and then we're going to be all of our eggs in one basket, waiting on damn, Foles like to take the wrong step or snow to hit in Chicago and he slips. Damn.
Listen to this. Let me bring this up in the chat. Ben Alexander, crazy thought. What if they trade Mitch and get Kaepernick? Never will happen, but
I think Kaepernick's just asking for too much. Well, he's asking for $20 million, right? Where's this $20 million going to come from to sign him?
I would absolutely be okay with it, but I just don't.
Sure.
I mean, if he kind of pulled it down, if he was able to not, or the price, right? If they got him for cheaper, then whatever, bring him in and go with it. I
mean, Cam Newton's getting what, 1.7 million or something, and Kaepernick wants 20 million. I just don't see it, man.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, and then who's that? Simon talking about Chase Daniel. So something real quick that I seen the other day. So Chase Daniel, in his 3 games that he played, put up over 20 points in Aggie's offense every time he played in it. Foles comes out and throws 5 touchdowns. 2 of them get taken away. He's got a 20-point fourth quarter.
Yeah. I mean, this guy put up more yards and stats in the fourth quarter than some quarterbacks that played the whole game.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think for this coming week, right, like, I don't know, man. A lot of people, I think you're either on one side of the fence or the other. You're like, hey, Nick's going to be Nick, and he's going to whatever. He's going to fall off, and he's going to be the Nick from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or people are like, oh, no, he's going to come out and explode and just be totally different.
He put up those 20 points, though, guys. There was some help there from that defense too, which we haven't touched on yet. So that doesn't happen without that defense shoring things up in the run game, and they have been lights out in coverage, with the exception of the deep ball to Ridley to start the game. I mean, there was a couple other plays too where Ridley was able to get away but not break anything too big. But,
so the DBs have been lights out in coverage. The linebackers have been shit. I mean,
I was really surprised they didn't use Hayden Hurst more last week. I mean, that's on them, but
I mean, the Falcons still had 238 yards receiving. They just rushed to death. I mean, they kind of destroyed and just did what they wanted with this defense, man. These inside linebackers are. How come Roquan isn't taking as much freaking slack as Mitch or as everybody else being a first-round pick? Danny Trevathan's taking tons of shit everywhere. Yep. Trevathan's taking shit left and right, and on every piece, just people calling him old. He's talking about Jesus and whatever in a damn tweet, and then somebody comments below, yo, you old, you move slow. Like, it's nothing about football, and people are coming after Danny T, but nobody's saying anything to Roquan. Roquan's a first-round pick. This dude has not done what he needs to do. He has, this whole freaking, I don't know, I get the whole defense. It's got so many pieces, and people don't really look to Roquan. People talking about Mac not getting pressures. People talking shit about Danny. People saying, how Fuller and damn Johnson have just been shutting it down, right? People saying how Eddie this, Eddie that. Nobody's holding Roquan's feet to the fire and making him do what he's supposed to do. And he's not. He's a weakness on this team right now. The whole inside linebacker core is a weakness. And to go up against the Colts coming up, I know we'll figure out. We'll get into it later. But to go up against this team coming up, they're gonna just punch it right down our throats. Eddie's gone. That whole middle is weak as hell right now.
But guys, we were just talking about trading our backup quarterback when we could be addressing the middle of that defense, making a move and signing Snag Harrison. And yet everybody is talking on social media about trading Mitch. If we want to talk about issues with this team, let's look at every position on this team instead of just the quarterback. Clearly, with Eddie Goldman not there, there is a giant drop-off in our run defense. Huge. I mean, you look at, even last season, we weren't getting gashed. Yes, because Eddie was there. But at this point, week over week, we're giving up ginormous runs. And that's not something that we've seen in, when Mel Tucker was here as part of the Trestman era, it was like nobody was on the field. But this is something that we haven't seen since, Fangio and now Pagano. These guys are getting gashed because we're missing Eddie. get out there, make a move, and sign a guy that can plug up that middle to take some of the pressure off of Danny and Roquan. That's the biggest problem on this defense right now.
Yeah.
You know, yes,
Well,
the
they've
linebackers
said
and
it.
coverage is huge, but you got to stop the run. And
Right.
we're not doing that right now, which opens up the play action pass game. And Deion Bush on the field for that is much better than Danny T right now. But you need to address the lack of stopping the run, and you got to do it fast because now you're coming up against this Colts team with multiple good rushers.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. They've said it for 2 years, man, that Eddie Goldman is a key cog to this defense. So I don't know why as soon as he opted out, they didn't say, well, we need to plug something in there. I mean, they gave Nichols a shot, but it's just not. He's just not a nose tackle, man. You can't just stick somebody anywhere and expect that to happen. And another thing with the linebacker, like I've said multiple times, I'm a Danny Trevathan guy. He went to Kentucky. I love the guy. As soon as he came to the Bears, I bought his jersey. But both of the people who were behind him last year, Kwiatkowski and KPL, are playing pretty well with their new respective teams. And that's definitely something to look at. Now, we kept Trevathan because even Josh Wood said here on this network, as soon as he was asked who's the leader of the team, he said Danny, as soon as they asked him that. So I'm thinking that's what got him re-signed. But leadership and being the leader of the team doesn't produce on the field all the time.
Yeah. And I mean, even Pagano knows. I mean, everybody knows we got a little piece here with Pagano when he was asked what's going on with this defense. So we'll pull this up, get you our thoughts on it. Throw it in the chat. What are your thoughts on the defense? I don't think they might not be the defense that we all expected, but take a look around the NFL right now. No defense is a defense that was expected. Offenses are winning the first quarter of the season. Offenses are putting up massive points, massive yards, and defenses are just kind of staying alive right now. But let's throw this in there from Chuck, and then we'll get your guys' thoughts on it.
You'd love to have them, but we got more than capable guys in there. So it's not that we don't have, guys that can't play it. It's just, again, I got to coach it better. We got to be on the same page. You got to communicate better. And guys can't break the line of scrimmage and not get a glove on a guy. And I put him in some tough situations. Like I said, it always starts with me. So we've got good players, I just got to coach them better.
You see it right there.
Yeah, he's always going to take. Yeah, Pagano's always going to take. He's always going to blame himself first because that's just the kind of guy he is. He's not going to throw his players under the bus. But just that was the first thing I noticed, Badge. You see 98. If I'm seeing you get turned and opening this hole, it's unacceptable. And he's a good defensive lineman. He's a good defensive end. He could be great, but he is not a nose tackle. You got to have in this defense, you have got to have a big war daddy right there in the middle, taking up those blocks. And there's no other way. There's no other way to put it. I mean,
you guys, there is no other way to put it. And the thing of it is here we are now 4 weeks into the season, and I'm still seeing idiots on Twitter talking about Eddie Goldman opting out. Giving him shit over choosing to be safe versus, being on the field with the exposure to COVID. And it's not just about Eddie. It's about his family and how it's better for him and his family that he is not out on the field going through this with the ability with the possibility of contracting COVID. Like, the fact that people are still talking about this 4 weeks into the season, he isn't here. So what do you do now? And you've seen what's happened to this defense up front. Now, front office, coaching staff, You guys are the ones that got to say, let's go out and make an impact where we're having issues. Now, I haven't watched any tape on Snacks. I know he was in Detroit last year. My memory as I get older seems to be fading. I don't remember him making much of an impact against the Bears both times we played them last year. But
he had a couple plays, but
yeah.
but it's the same as Eddie, man. How much impact did Eddie really make?
Exactly.
Eddie just
got to take up blockers.
Yeah, he makes an impact by bringing attention. You know what I mean? By freeing up the double teams on Hicks, by freeing up the double teams on Mac. That's where his impact. He's one of those, under the radar guys, man. His impact is made. The other players on the field know where it's made. You know what I mean? And yeah, Snacks he's a little explosive. He made some plays in that, but I'm just saying the impact is more made off of lessening the impact on the other players on the field. And I think, like I kind of said before we went to the video, all the defenses are kind of hurting around the NFL right now. We're seeing mad points get put up. We're seeing a lot of that happen. And I just think maybe it's overreaction, maybe it's not. But me personally, I think Roquan Smith is just not playing to the potential of a first round pick. We've seen guys that got picked after him. One of them that we're facing today has gone just straight ballistic. Has gone just straight ballistic, and he's the leader of that defense. When is the changing of the guard? If everybody's talking crap about Danny, and Danny lost a step, and Danny's slow as fuck, and Danny this, Danny that, right? When does it? Are we comfortable with the changing of the guard, giving it to damn Roquan? I mean, I wouldn't say I am right now. What other inside linebackers are going to step up and fill this?
No.
Dion.
That's why it hasn't happened. I don't think.
Yeah, I seen somebody. I seen somebody in the chat mention how Dion Bush is coming in and kind of spelling Danny to play some of that, right? And he is, but
he's not a linebacker. He's coming in a possible passing situation, guys. He's not a linebacker. So replace Danny with Dion, that doesn't really fit. Can you replace him on passing downs? Yes, but in the run game, Dion Bush is going to get tossed aside faster than Danny or Roquan. So that's not an option.
And this cushiony shit, man, this dropping back into cushion. I mean, I know we didn't really do it last game because we didn't have the ability to. We were coming from behind, but this cushion ass defense and doing that, I don't know, man. I don't think Pagano is.
Well, we saw that under Fangio too, where they're playing corners 10, 15 yards off of the ball. And I mean, I'm not a defensive coordinator, obviously, or I wouldn't be on here talking with you guys every Sunday. But that just seems like I feel like you should be up, I don't know, 3 to 5 yards off the wide receiver.
And one of the plays that stands out in my mind was a slant to Calvin Ridley. It's Kelvin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm thinking. I don't know. Anyway,
not Riley.
Kyle Fuller is 12 yards off the ball. Now, if he's playing up on Ridley, he's got a chance to step in front of that. That's something Kyle Fuller we've seen do a time or two. Step in front of a slant, pick it off. He's so far behind him. Ridley catches the ball and kind of, instead of running, he's kind of waiting to be hit. And it took a second for Fuller to get there to hit him.
Yeah.
That, to me, you're too far off the ball.
Yeah, another thing that does is if they're throwing slants and little curl routes and stuff is we don't – our interior guys, Hicks and Mack and those guys don't have time to get to the quarterback because they're getting it out so fast. So, to me, it from front to back, it hurts the defense.
Well, we got that today. I mean, you got old man Rivers, right? He's constantly in the shotgun. Has one of the quickest releases, and gets rid of the ball. T.Y. Hilton, T.Y. Hilton's a beast, man. If they try to kind of play up on T.Y., and try to lessen it that way, you're going to see. Now, Rivers, obviously, he has no mobility in the pocket, right? He's not He's not going to run around and scramble and do anything crazy. I mean, you've seen it, I guess, a little bit this season, but not much. I think it's just another thing, man. If we try to play this soft ass coverage and stay back, Rivers is leading the league in completion percentage and I think it's 8 to 15 yards or whatever, 10 to 15 yards it is. He's leading the league in fucking completion percentage underneath. He's tearing it up under there, man. The dude is like 26 for 27 on underneath.
He's turning Mo Alley Cox into a fucking star over there.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
you want to talk about linebackers not being able to cover. This dude's coming, and he's turning him into Antonio Gates. Rivers loves him some tight ends.
Yeah. And before we get on the Colts, let me do this real quick. For those of you in the chat, for those of you who don't know, the Bar Room recently got sponsored by Manscaped. The bottom line here will have your Manscaped code, but I'm going to go with the Manscaping ball saving play of the day from last week. I have to now. It was between old BDN and and our boy Tayshaun Gibson, but I'm gonna have to give it over to Tayshaun Gibson. The ball saving play of the day. Tayshaun comes up, gets the pick with like a minute left in the fourth quarter, and seals the deal. Nagy goes over, ends up killing the rest of the clock behind one first down, and then kills the rest of the clock out in the victory formation. But the Manscaped ball saving play of the day definitely goes to Tayshaun Gibson for killing this thing. We didn't have to pray for another running back to drop the ball in the end zone. I think the Falcons came out. They hit like 2 first downs back to back. They were on like the 50, and Tayshaun seals the deal. Get to manscaped.com. Get your 20% off using code BARROOM20. The Manscaped 3.0 lawnmower. I'm telling you guys, I hit up this Manscaping thing on Friday. I whatever. Cleaned house on it, used it all up, tried out everything that they gave me. I got some of the products sitting right here. Just one thing. This 3.0, like, look at this thing. Pinpoint accuracy. You see that? Works in the shower, lights it up, man. Everything's there for you. And I'm just telling you, it's a blessing. Get over there, test out any of the products. The Barroom 20 code works for everything that they offer. If you already have Manscaped and you just need some replacements or whatever, Barroom 20, use the promo code, get yourself 20% off and free shipping. And that's our Manscaped ball saving play of the day. All right, let's get into this Colts thing, man. Colts are coming to town. They're repping the number 1 defense right now, even though everybody's going around, everybody knows how deadly this offensive line of the Colts is, and how we got the matchup of the day would be the dream versus the nightmare. You got the guard father over there with his boy, but the dream versus the nightmare, you got you got your hand raised? Yes, Mr.
I got to raise my hand here because before we start talking about the game, we should probably talk about the history between the Bears and Colts, and because there's some pretty good history there, right?
Extend it, yeah.
Alrighty, so there's been 43 games played between the Bears and Colts, and I was a little bit surprised by this, but the Colts currently lead the series between these two teams 24-19. The last matchup was October 9th, 2016, and the Colts beat the Bears 29-23 in Indy. Now, for the Bears playing that day, the quarterback was Brian Hoyer.
Wow.
And Jordan Howard had his first receiving touchdown on a 21-yard reception right up the middle of the field. And the other thing about this is now Frank Reich and Matt Nagy were both parts of Andy Reid's staff. So they'll now be going up against each other. This is a pretty decent matchup. Now, the last piece of history for those of you that may be younger Bear fans and weren't here for the 2006 Super Bowl run, the Bears played the Colts in that Super Bowl. Started off like a house of fire, and then it quickly went to shit. So
then it got
then it just got awful. So we try not to talk about that too much around here, but that's the badge history lesson on the matchup between the Bears and Colts. Now we can move into having some fun.
Yeah, I mean, this team's coming, right? they're picked to win. I think they're picked by 3. They're coming to Chicago. I get it. I think the combined winning record of everybody that I think they've played a team that's got 1 win.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is neither one of us have really been tested yet this season. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be the first big test for both teams.
The only thing, and I'll let you go here in a second, AC. The only thing that I really don't like is, nobody's been tested. I get it. The Colts beat the Jets and they beat the Vikings, right? But they beat these teams
soundly
like they should have beat these teams. You know what I'm saying? They came out and they beat these teams. It wasn't like, like us pulling out an AED and putting the pads on our chest and waiting for the fourth quarter to roll around, man. Like they came out and just put these teams down and beat them. That's where my problem is, right? And this is like, are we that team? Or are we just a team that treads water with everybody and then tries to pull it out at the end and go from there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And we'll find out today. The Jaguars have beat this Colts team, and they made Minshew Mania look like a superstar out there. Now it was week 1, and it's kind of basically a preseason game, at that point. But they have had at least one bad game, and then I think the Jets are the worst team in the NFL. So yeah, they beat them, and they beat them soundly, but they were supposed to. But I guess this is a tough one for me. Like, I guess I always call myself an optimist, but it seems like I've noticed each week I find something to worry about.
Never fails.
Last week I was worried about the Falcons offense against our defense, and the week before that, I'm sure there was it was Saquon Barkley that I was worried about, and and their tight end, I can't remember his name right now, Ingram, and this week I'm worried about tight end as well. I mean, like I've said earlier, Philip Rivers loves to go to his tight end. He always has, and he's gonna have the ability to this week against our linebackers if they don't step it up.
Yeah. I agree, AC. I think you're going to see a little bit more Deion Bush, just because I think that the Colts are going to try to throw the ball at the linebackers. So I think you're going to see him a little bit more in coverage personally. Bobby kind of mentioned it before I raised my hand and cut him off about that the defensive line versus the offensive line and Akeem against, those interior guys. Now those guys, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, and Mark Glowinski, that's a formidable front right there. Probably one of the toughest we've seen.
Yeah. I think the Cowboys and Colts have the 2 best offensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah,
and we had debates about this on this network, of who to pick, Quentin Nelson, should we go up and get Quentin, should we get Quentin Nelson, so on and so forth. To me, you look back on it now, it should have been a no-brainer that we went after Quentin Nelson, as the Guardfather so eloquently mentioned on these airwaves multiple times.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we didn't. We chose to go another way, and now you look at the stability of the Colts O-line. Well, our O-line isn't bad, but there's room for improvement there. But I think it's going to be tough today. Getting into gaps to stop the run. But at the same time, I think we get enough pressure on Rivers that he may throw up a duck here or there.
Yeah, and I think this is I know Perry just put in there, all we have to do is hit Rivers once or twice and he'll be throwing with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
It is. And I mean, he's given up a lot of sacks. I know we're all saying that this line, is a beast, and it is, and the stats lie, but I think they're like 7th in the league actually rated is where they fall out. But it's only because they're giving up these sacks, right? They've given up some. Rivers is taking hits, and I think we can get in there and go. Akeem's playing like a damn monster right now, and And, I said, we got the Quentin Nelson thing and we got the dream, Akeem the dream against the monster Nelson. And I really think that this is the game where we come out and actually make a statement and show that. I mean, you guys have seen there's only one imposter here and it's all the 3-0 teams. And of course they're talking about the Bears, right? But this team literally needs to get into it now. I mean, the matchups are crazy. You got DeForest Buckner. You got damn Xavier Rhodes decided to step up last week. And he took one. He had 2 picks last week. He took one to the house. You got a lot of good matchups around the field. And then you got the Pagano matchup, right? The Pagano against his old team matchup. You got the Pace versus Ballard matchup. Like everything about this game, there's so much depth to this game and things going on here that you got Foles and Wright. You got everything going on. There's so much to talk about this game, and I don't want to like scramble and be all over the damn place, but I don't know. I guess we'll just start with, or run into Foles. Foles going up against Wright. Yep. I mean, he knows. They played him once when he was with the Jaguars, and he literally tore. I won't say tore, but Foles did nothing. Granted, he was on a Jaguar team, right? I mean, it is the Jaguars. But Frank Wright preparing for Foles, he knows Foles. He knows Foles, I would say, better than Nagy knows Foles. Maybe not lasering them, but better than Nagy for sure, and was able to shut Foles down. How does Nagy change this offense now? Is it the same offense that we've seen with Mitch, or is this a Nick Foles offense now? How does Nagy change this offense now to go in there and to do things that he could not do with Mitch?
I think, to me, number one, you saw the team with Foles last week really get a new energy. They seemed like, okay, we got this guy in, let's go. The defense stepped up. Will that carry over to this week? Can the O-line hold up in passing situations for Foles?
They struggled last week.
Yeah, Foles much less mobile than Mitch. He doesn't move well. I don't think that bodes well for either one of our tackles. It's going to be interesting to see how the Bears respond to this. I think you're going to see a lot of quick game. Personally speaking, I think that's something we've talked about since, I think we may even have talked about it in the Fox era, is slants, hooks, curls, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hand quickly and of helping the offensive line out and slowing down that pass rush. I think Foles handles that much better than maybe Trubisky would. So I think we should see a lot of that today. I'm not even going to talk about Tyler Bray trying to do that. Right? So it'll be interesting. I know Nagy wants the big plays. He likes to throw the deep ball. And Foles, we know, as you saw last week, definitely throws a better deep ball than Trubisky does. It's very blatantly obvious.
And he reads defenses a lot better than Mitch as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say that too. I mean, you seen Jimmy Graham came out and said that Foles killed like 3 plays at the line and changed him up to other plays. And that's not something that he had seen Mitch really doing. Mitch was kind of buying into the play, and Foles is killing plays at the line. He's reading the defense. He's assisting the offensive line to what they're facing, right? And not just doing what is put into his earpiece.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. I think Foles really comes in and does this one up. I think he comes out. I think this defense that he picks apart this defense. I mean, Darius Leonard is still there. You got Justin Houston. We said earlier, Darius Leonard. I mean, he's a beast. Leonard is going to get in there. He's going to get some shots on Montgomery. We're going to see CP and Montgomery backfield, right?
Yeah.
And
Xavier Rhodes didn't do very much, in Minnesota. They let him go. So we're going to see if he regresses back to what he was, or if he just continues with this resurgence in Indy. And I think Allen Robinson's going to have a field day, or he has the ability to. We'll see if they let him keep his touchdowns this time.
Well, you got Robinson, you got Mooney, you got Miller. If Miller's returning punts, you're going to see less of him in the, I would say, on the offense. You got Ted Ginn. There's enough weapons to get after these guys. Like you said, Xavier Rhodes, prior to last week they did face the Jets, right? I rewatched that game yesterday. There's a lot of I would say Darnold saving the day, right? And dodging and dip, dive, duck, dodge, and dodge. Like, he's just going nuts back there, man. And he threw up some easy balls. He threw up some that one pick that he took back for a pick six that he took to the house was a comeback route, and he was well in front of the wide receiver, took that thing and was gone with it, man. So I'm not really
to cut you guys off, but we got a couple videos here. One of Foles talking about him coming in as a starter, and then Nagy coming in and talking about Foles throwing the deep ball that we're going to play here.
Yeah, we got to hit those before we go into the defense, I think.
I feel really comfortable, and I think that going in this week, there's been a lot of great conversations, and even last game, I felt more of myself when I stepped into that situation, just playing and getting to just do things that I like to do in a chaotic situation. So it's I'm definitely a lot more comfortable than I was, but that's what this week will be great to go out there and practice and get a preparation week and go through the plays and study the plays and watch practice after practice and fine tune everything. So I'm hoping by the time it's game time, we've grown even more.
Nick's always had that aggressive mentality. That's never changed, that we like. And then, a lot of guys, when you have that accuracy on those deep balls, that always is a positive for the offense and for those wide receivers and tight ends. And I think Nick has shown the ability over the course of time that he does have that. He does throw a downfield throw with more air on it than some. But there's a feel to it, and some he doesn't. Some he might take a little less off. And so it's just kind of a feel thing. I think I tend to think a lot of times with these whether it's a touch ball or accuracy or in the red zone, et cetera. We used to always joke around, can you play basketball or not? If you can shoot a basketball and play hoops, you can only have touch on those fade balls. But I know that Nick has hooped in his time, and we've had a lot of quarterbacks that we've coached that have done that, and they've been good with those kind of throws.
Yeah, I think that to react to Foles, he's got no reason to not be confident. He's brought in here into a competition that he knew he was going to be competing for, and felt that he did enough to win the competition. Unfortunately, he didn't. So now here we are back with him as the starter at this point, and we'll see what happens with him.
I will say this. I do want to say
this
is that the ball, to me, just looks prettier coming out of Foles' hand. We saw a lot of ducks coming out of Trubisky. I mean, even that week 2 touchdown to Darnell Mooney was wobbly coming out. And when you see Foles, it's just beautiful spiral, hitting his target, which is I just love to see it.
Yeah, guys are just reacting to the Miller news, returning punts in the chat. Guys, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Should not be returning punts. But, then Nagy comes in, Bobby, and talking about the deep ball to Mitch. Foles throws a nice deep ball. Mitch just couldn't seem. I mean, this has been a nagging, not to throw Nagy's name in there.
No pun intended.
This has been a nagging thing for Mitch, really, since he's come into the league. He just can't seem to hit that deep ball. I don't know if he was a basketball player or not. Maybe he was better suited to play basketball for the Tar Heels than football. But, Foles just throws a better ball. I mean, it's obvious. You saw it last week.
Dude, let's not Foles does everything better except for run. 100%. 100%. Foles does everything better than Mitch except for run. He controls the offense better. His precision is better. Obviously, accuracy is better. He's changing plays at the line. He's controlling the huddles. He's in there telling them, like, hey, if this happens, this. He's got the
Run
plan.
to the L, I got you.
Yeah, he's got the plan B for when he gets punched in the face, right? And Mitch has this ability to, I think, and I mean it's total speculation, but when he does that, he goes off. And I know we always reference back to the Tampa game where he threw 6 touchdowns, right? And Nagy even said it after that one, like, I just let him play. Just let him play. Well, how come you don't just let him play all the damn time then? Like, this dude decides to cut up and take off 45 yards, right? And kept the ball in our possession and like went all the way down to the, inside the red zone and that. And then we seen, I would just say once he's in the red zone, he looks like nervous, man. He's like back there. The feet are moving. He's like,
well, he's terrified he's going to make a mistake.
Yeah. And it's just, you've seen him on the sidelines, man. We seen that face on the sidelines after he was pulled and all that, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, he was
Foles said in the presser afterwards, like, hey, I know exactly how Mitch is feeling, and it sucks, right? But I'm still believe that there was no competition. There was no quarterback competition. It was like last-ditch effort. It will give Nick some time to get more comfortable and this and that, so that both things don't look bad. Because if they were to throw Nick in right away, then the trade looks bad and the draft looks bad. Mitch looks like shit because Foles just beat him out. The trade looks bad because Foles doesn't completely understand everything in the offense yet. So all they really did was give Foles another month to get everything, level, to understand what he's doing, to have a know the playbook, know what's going on, and be able to come out here and perform like he did. Now,
if we would have had a preseason, this would have been probably
correct.
Week 1 Foles. Yeah.
Yeah. But all they did was prepare themselves not to fail twice, right? And like the best that they could. Otherwise, it just, everything looks like shit. The draft, the picking Mitch where you picked him, trading for Foles, and then Ryan Pace's ass is on the line even more. But now Foles comes out, saves the game here. Now they're like, oh, well, that trade actually looks a little better now. And who knows? But I mean, I know we got people in the chat saying if Foles comes out and gets hurt, what happes? Right? Who goes in? Does Mitch take snaps? There's a couple people saying bold predictions that Mitch is going to get a couple snaps.
If Foles gets hurt, you got to go back to Mitch. You're not going to go to Tyler Bray.
No, not a chance in hell. You have to go. I mean, you're going back to Mitch no matter what if Foles gets hurt. But if, I know Badge had mentioned it earlier, if the Bears come out and do this Saints thing and start running like gadget plays with Trubisky, I'm going to be pissed because you need to make a decision. You need to.
Well, he's got a history of injuries too. If you're putting him in harm's way, I don't think that'll be good either.
Yeah,
but you've seen Nagy's decision making, guys. I mean, you're in the red zone and you've got Tarik Cohen handing off to Jordan Howard. You're taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands, who does handoffs on the regular, and putting it between 2 running backs. Nagy is not a good decision maker at certain times in the game, and it's bound to happen. You're going to see Mitch lined up at wide receiver or punt returner or safety because Nagy sometimes is an idiot.
But so do these gimmick plays stop now?
I don't think so.
Does this thing stop now? Were these gimmick plays because he didn't have the confidence in Trubisky and had to throw something else in there?
They ran Philly in the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. So it's not like he hasn't ran a few gimmick plays before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He showed he can catch the ball better than Tom Brady in that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Let's get over to this backfield, man. We got David Montgomery. We got CP. Obviously, somebody's going to be getting more reps. Granted, I know we said earlier Tarik was only getting about 6 targets a game, but somebody's got to get more reps. You've seen Artavius Pierce come up. He's on the active roster, right? We seen Lamar Miller get added to the practice squad. I mean, if we're looking at a couple of years ago and we got a Bears team with Lamar Miller, Khalil Mack, and Nick Foles as the quarterback, man, we're in the fucking Super Bowl already. But we're kind of looking at a team, right? We're picking, we're pulling depth, I would say. And when Tarik went down, right, the first thought for everybody is, okay, who's replacing him? Do we really need, besides the punt return, besides special teams, right? Is CP just a bigger replacement? I mean, the dude runs like a beast, or do we kind of change this up a little bit? Yeah, I know. I said it last week too. But what's the deal with the backfield? AC, we'll come over to you, man. What's your thoughts on this backfield now, missing Tarik Cohen? Who gets more reps? Or do we just see, more of a downhill running, straight go beast mode on him type offensive style?
Well, I definitely think that Cordero Patterson will get used a little more. I'd like to see them use Artavis Pierce just so I can see what he looks like against NFL competition. Because, from what I've seen, he's kind of that shifty speed back. Ryan Nall might get a couple more carries. But he's a power back. So maybe goal line type situations, they'll put Ryan Nall in there or just stay with Montgomery. But I definitely think that Cordero Patterson will be the bulk replacement of Tarik Cohen in this offense.
I think losing Tarik Cohen, they should be looking at another speed back. You have power in Montgomery. You have it in Patterson. That's what Nall is. Pierce, I think, is a very similar guy to them. Hence why I whispered Kareth White.
Yeah.
That's a guy who is very quick.
Well, he's on a practice squad right now, I think.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure he's – is it Detroit or I thought he was in Pittsburgh?
No, I think he's on Detroit.
I don't think he's in Pittsburgh anymore, yeah.
He's on Detroit's practice squad right now.
It's a guy you could bring in that knows the offense, and we saw it in the preseason play last season with him. The guy's got speed. He's a game breaker, and you put the ball in his hands, he makes one guy miss, and he can take it to the house. I think out of the backfield, you have Cordero Patterson that can do that, but he's not going to get. Yes, he'll get an increased number of touches. I just don't think he's going to get the opportunities catching the ball out of the backfield that a guy like Tarik Cohen, Kareth White would get running those screens. Montgomery, great runner, but he doesn't have that breakaway speed. We've seen it numerous times since last season when he first joined the team, getting caught from behind. Nall, not a guy that's going to break away from anybody. Pierce, I think he's got a little bit of speed, but I don't think he's going to get a ton of reps.
Yeah. So I'm on the flip side of all this, right? I think that losing Cohen allows Nagy to focus more with the power running game. Doesn't have another guy out there where he's like, ooh, I got to get him this or I got to do that. That I, have this weapon that I need to utilize. And I do think, obviously, that Tarik Cohen is a weapon. But I think it kind of centers Nagy's focus on what this offense can do and should do and kind of stops the gimmicky kind of thing and just goes with a straight style of ground and pound, man, and get after it. I know PSN said it, 84 champ. I guess that's how you read your name, PSNRC 84 champ. But ground and pound style, man, like Patterson, Montgomery, just feed them. Nall, just go. And you could still throw some swing passes out to these guys. Patterson's a damn beast no matter what. He can fill that role. But I think it limits the gimmicky style stuff in losing Tarik. And I think it's kind of takes some plays out of his playbook, but I ultimately think that makes it for a better playbook.
Yeah, for sure. His playbook's huge. Badge, I think you're muted there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think it could.
Yeah, and even John Ryan, he just said it in the chat also, like losing Cohen makes this offense more straightforward. I think it does, man. I think it provides a no shit like mindset of, okay, let's just, here we go. Like we can do this.
Cohen's that gadget guy.
Yeah. And I'm okay with it. Like granted, I don't want anybody to confuse us with like that we're happy Cohen's not around. That's not the case at all.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, that's not the case at all. But I think this provides a more like the mentality of the approach is going to be a lot better for Nagy to get this game going, man. And like we said, I guess we can roll into this Colts defense. This Colts defense is first in almost every category right now. Everybody talks about their offensive line, but their defense they're strong right now. Granted, I know, Ravi. I'm sure you're typing right now, dude. They've only played the Vikings and the Jets. I get it, man. Yeah, we love you, Ravi. I'm just busting your balls, but I get it. They've only played those teams, right? But they're doing good at, like, they're doing well against their opponents. They're actually shutting them down, and they've given up the fewest points. You see it on the bottom line, fewest points per game, total yards, passing yards. They're out there getting after it, man. And I think this is a good game to show why you're undefeated, to show that your offense can move the ball. Our third downs are freaking horrible, right? I mean, a couple times last week, you've seen the only time that we're throwing the deep ball is on fucking third down. We weren't trying to do anything. I think there was one play where we threw a deep ball on first down and Aldo lost his mind because, he came with the percentages and everything of why. But I'm just saying, like, I think this really opens up the team, and it's a prove-it game, man, for sure. And lets you get after it. Now, we all know the game was moved to 3:25 for you Central folk, 4:25 for the Eastern, due to the COVID and everything going on. So I'm going to pass this one over to Mr. AC, Aaron Current, for current events, and he's going to go ahead and hit you with some of the current events that are currently in the NFL right now.
Are we going to play the opening video or just jump right in?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, as Bobby just alluded to, my current events this week, and it seems like I'm going to be doing this every week, is dealing with COVID. We all know that the New England Patriots and the Kansas City
I think we lost AC there, guys. Unless it's my internet crapping out. There he is, AC. We lost you there for a minute.
My bad, man. I guess I'm getting COVID. I don't know what the heck's going on over here. Yeah. It was showing connected at the bottom, and then it just cut out. So I don't know where I cut off at, but so New England, Kansas City got moved to Tuesday. Cam Newton tested positive for COVID. And the Steelers and the Tennessee Titans game was actually moved to, I think, week 7 or 8 because they've had a slew of positive tests in Nashville with the Titans there. And that actually pushed, I guess, I was looking at there's a big old shuffle with Pittsburgh. I guess they moved the Ravens game to week 8 and they're playing Titans week 7 or vice versa, something. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the Titans had like 16 positive COVID tests, and of course the big name in New England is Cam Newton testing positive, which is what moved that game to Tuesday.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how this has all started to blow up.
Yeah.
Over the last week or so, now you're seeing games being moved, bye weeks being switched, times of games being adjusted for the first time, and I don't know how long. I'm going to be missing some of a game. I have a prior engagement that is highly important to me. That came out yesterday, and it's like, come on, fellas.
They should have flexed this to Sunday night because I think Sunday night is San Francisco and Philly, and even the Monday night game is the Packers and the Falcons. Like the Packers are going to murder the Falcons, man. It's not even going to be like that. But I guess I'll take dinner time.
Yeah, I mean, either way, man, this whole COVID thing is going, and I think it was inevitable, right? The Titans, it came out earlier today that the linebacker coach was patient zero for the Titans. Knew that he was in contact with some people that had COVID and just didn't tell anybody and continued on because he was not concerned with it, and then ended up obviously starting this thing for the Titans. Cam's in the COVID protocol, right? The Bears, they swear up and down that they that there's, they have their watches and they have all this that says who is in contact with who, and if something's happened, they can minimize the effects and and kind of shrink everything down right away. But I mean, dude, this is just something. I think it's inevitable. It's
they said at the start of this year that this is just going to be another hurdle, and whoever handles COVID the best is probably going to come out, Super Bowl champions at the end of the year, because it's just like dealing with injury. There's I mean, what is it, 2 weeks that they're out usually, or however they're handling it. So whoever deals with this attrition the best is gonna come out Super Bowl champion this year, I think. And we've done, knock on wood, we've done a pretty good job of handling our COVID protocols in Chicago, it seems.
Unfortunately, I think as an organization, you have to be on top of your players and know their every move and every person they're going to be around, unfortunately, because otherwise you see what's happened here. I mean, we don't know the circumstances surrounding any of these players and how they've gotten it, but you look at what the NBA has done. And playing in a bubble. Now, Major League Baseball went through a little outbreak with the Cardinals and somebody else. I don't recall.
Marlins. They played the first half of the season with guys from their minor league system.
Yeah, so there's going to be bumps in the road. I believe that with those bumps, I think you'll see some players miss some time, but other players may not. You saw AJ Terrell last week from the Falcons. Now he tested positive for it, yet nobody else on their roster had any issues. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that the Titans have, I think, 16. Cam, right now, the only Patriot that has it. But also the practice squad quarterback from the Chiefs. That's why their game has been moved.
I did see that.
He has it as well. So
then you got ex-Bear Mike Burton, who tested positive, but then on the retest came back negative. So he was a big threat to kind of shut down the Saints there, and because he had just been on a plane with everybody. But I want to say somebody released it this morning that his test came back negative. The retest did. So he had a false positive, but obviously a huge scare because supposedly he was sitting with Alvin Kamara on the plane.
Oof.
Yeah, and like the way that this thing is going, man.
Mike Burton likes to hang around with top guys on his team, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's Mitch's guy here.
I know. And I mean, I think it's just gonna be a week by week thing, man. And it's gonna get some of these teams are starting to allow family and friends in as the crowd, and some of them are still on a zero mentality. But I think this whole thing, man, is just, I don't know. I mean, do we come to a case where the NFL season just gets scratched midway through?
Well,
I don't think so.
You think we push through all the way?
Yeah, I think you'll see similar to Major League Baseball. You'll see a couple teams, they've got the options of switching around bye weeks, for this possibility, and I'm sure they've mapped it out. Well, at least I hope the NFL has mapped it out prior to now if this situation were to happen. But I just don't see the season being scrapped. I don't think it'll get that far personally. You've got your COVID believers, your COVID non-believers, and this, that, and the other thing. I think teams are trying to do the best they can to keep these players on the field. I
Yeah.
think that's why you've seen practice squads increased for something like this. The biggest thing is if you've got people that have it, you've got to get them quarantined and away from everybody else.
Yeah.
That to me is the biggest thing and will prevent a full on where you might have a team that is shutting down. You don't want to, I mean, if a team completely has to, a whole team can't be in, then I think we're talking something different, but I just don't see that happening right now.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that one, Badge, because and the NFL seems to be handling the situation pretty well. It's unfortunate that we don't have like a minor league system of some sort to pull from if we have quite a few. But I guess, I mean, you've got those XFL guys that played last year. If you need to call somebody, I guess they can pull from there. But, the free agency list is only so long. And then you have to hope that they even want to play with the COVID situation going on. Because a guy that I wanted before I noticed that Effetti was doing okay this year was Larry Warford. I guess he was getting calls in the offseason and decided he wasn't going to play. So you have to deal with that as well. But I think the NFL is doing a pretty good job handling the whole situation.
Yeah. I mean, just to wrap this up, everybody who knows that the game got moved to 325, only 70% of the United States are going to get that as their primetime game. So if you do not have the NFL ticket and you're planning on watching the game at home because people are reporting that it's a primetime game, only 70% of the United States is getting that as a primetime game. So check your local listings and all that to see whether or not you're getting
I checked my guide last night because I live here in Kentucky. And it still said New England versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't know if I'm going to get the game here at home. If I have to go somewhere and watch the game, by the time I get there, hopefully people will be cleared out from the 1 o'clock games. But I'm going to be in one of those situations.
The Bills and the Raiders are gonna hit a lot of the places, and then or they're taking the 70% spot, and then the Bears and the Colts will take the rest. What do you guys see out of this? Jonathan Taylor. What do you guys see out of this Colts backfield coming at us, man? What fears do you have from this Colts offense and Colts backfield, and how do you see us like limited and shutting them down today?
Jonathan Taylor's a really good running back. He's young though; he's a rookie, so he still struggles a little bit with ball carrier vision. But he's a very good running back. And then you got Naheem Hines, which is more of your receiving threat. So they got a really good 1-2 punch there in Indy. But I think that our defense, if we win the game, we're going to have to win it that way. We're going to have to run the ball on our side and stop them from running the ball very well, which we haven't done very well this year. But I think as the year progresses, the defense will improve in that department. At least I hope so. So I think we have, because of Jonathan Taylor being so young and not having not having the ability to see too many holes, and he did run like a 4.3, but he hasn't really shown breakaway speed in this season. I think his longest run's like 12 yards or something. I think our defense is going to be in a good position to shut them down in the running game. And then, if you force Phillip Rivers to throw the ball, he'll give you a couple of picks if you try.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I think Taylor's a beast though, and I think we seen Adrian Peterson come in and kind of dice us up, and he's almost as old as Old Man Rivers. So I think Jonathan Taylor, man, our defense is really going to have to step up today. I think the dude's a beast. I know Robbie said that, he loved him with the Badgers. I think he's a beast, man. And Hines is that thunder and lightning back, with him. And these two coming at us, man, it's definitely another back that could threaten this defense in the way that we've kind of been giving it up. I know Gurley, we shut him down. I mean, maybe not shut him down, but they contained him. And Gurley's a shell of his former self, though. I agree with fast moves. Danny does need to have a big game. He needs to come out, man. He needs to come out and do it. And I know some people don't agree with me, but I think Roquan needs to step up, man. What happened to that dude who was, after tackles and that, like going nuts and pumping this team up and getting there. He's still sneaky good. Like, don't get me wrong. He's still good.
They're getting wiped out. They're not even getting a chance. The offensive line is getting to that second level. They don't have a chance to make a play. We're missing that, and as we talked about earlier in the show, we're missing that big piece in that defensive line. Now they brought in McCullers.
If we see it, how do they not see it? How do they just?
I think they see it, but your general manager, your front office staff are not addressing it. I don't know if the coaches are, saying to them that, hey, you guys got to see this. It's not going to change until they address the middle of the defensive line, unfortunately.
Well, I guess they asked Pagano about it, and he just goes, well, I got to coach him better. I got to put him in better positions.
Well, you can coach them all they want, but if you can't get a push up there to allow your linebackers to come up and make a play, it's got nothing to do with coaching. It's got to do with getting up there, getting up on the line, and making a push. To me, their run game, it could be one of their top strengths. Without a shadow of a doubt, and we're going to have to do something to stop it. Snacks, yes, I totally agree with Snacks. Get this dude signed.
Saying earlier.
To me, we've got to be able to stop the run, because if we can't stop the run, that's going to open up their play action pass game, and that's what Phillip Rivers excels at. And he's got T.Y. Hilton on the outside. Now, we've played pretty well on that back end with Kyle Fuller and Jalen Johnson. I think people were thinking we were bashing this defense a little early on. I just personally, in my opinion, I don't like the way Kyle Fuller plays so far off the ball, personally speaking.
And that's not him. That's on the coach.
Correct. I feel like Kyle Fuller could play closer to the line and still be the same player that he is. Jalen Johnson has been excellent this season. I feel like these two guys have been lights out, and I really hope that they continue this in the game. And we've got some video here for you of Frank Reich talking about Chuck Pagano's defense that we're going to roll into.
I think one of the things, Chuck, I've not played him a lot, but that I think just watching and admiring his career, his coaching career, he does a good job of adapting to his personnel. Right now, they can bring exotic blitzes, but that's not what they major in. They major in kind of 5-man pressures because they like their defensive front, so they're just trying to get one-on-ones to get the win up front. That's kind of the MO, and that's pretty common and pretty smart, to be honest with you. We got to play good football, one-on-one football. This comes down to, we talk about it every week. We're going to scheme, we're going to prepare, but at the end of the day, we got to win our one-on-one matchups. So a big part of this game will be our one-on-one matchups in pass protection. They don't pressure. Chuck's not pressuring a real high amount this year. In general, I'd say it's pretty average. Plus or minus from that, we got to be really good in protection. They obviously have some good pass rushers.
And that statement that Chuck, that Frank just made about Pagano, he's average pressuring. If I'm Chuck Pagano, I'm sending the goddamn house all day long at Phillip Rivers because he can't move. You want to. That's where you need to take advantage of. Okay, how am I going to change up what I'm doing? Trust your back end. And then that's where you're taking Danny T out and putting Deion Bush in, and let these linebackers stop dropping them in coverage. Let them rush the passer. That's what they're good at. Send Roquan on a blitz. Let's put some pressure on Phillip Rivers. Danny too. You can take Danny. Yeah. Let's get some pressure on Rivers. Rivers, if you hit him, he'll throw the ball up for grabs. And we've
Yeah.
got Kyle Fuller and Jalen Johnson there on that back end. Bojack Gibson had a pick last week. That's what these guys look for. They want the ball in their hands to return it for touchdowns. So let's make it happen. I feel like we've come into this season playing so much zone because we're afraid to get burnt deep. I mean, you saw it last week, the first play of the game. I think the Falcons recognized that and said, you know what? Hell with it. Let's throw one up and see what happens. Well, it worked really well for them and allowed them to set them up for their first score. So you can't play scared in this league or you're going to get smoked all day long. And I think we start out each week a little bit and then finally, and then we get it rolling. So how about holding calls on Khalil Mack, for fuck's sake? The guy doesn't get any. I mean, this is just getting a little bit ridiculous. I get that the league is trying to I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do, but whatever they're trying to do is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like if there's holding, throw a flag and call it. It is what it is. It's the game. Last week's officiating crew sucked.
Oh my goodness. That roughing the passer call. Jesus, I'm still mad about it. You can't even tackle a quarterback anymore.
No, you can't.
Did you
can't
see
even hit him.
Akeem even came out and was talking about that after or on the Thursday night game. Like, wow, I got flagged for something a lot less than that. But I agree, man. Pagano needs to control the chaos. This defense, I get it that they're getting the pressures and all that and whatever, but he needs some just controlled chaos. He needs to get in there, start getting after these guys, and turn it up, man. Stop playing off the ball. Everybody's comparing Pagano to Vic now. Yeah, to all that, and there's even people saying that they want Vic back. Vic's 0-3, I believe.
He's a head coach. He's not going anywhere.
So I don't think he's coming back, but I agree with John Ryan too. He needs to let the dogs loose, man. He needs to get after him, start it off, and do it right. Clog that middle up. Bring the guys in from the edge. I just think that there needs to be a little more controlled chaos in the game with that, and not as easy as when you see them. Like you just kind of when they're gonna kind of sit back and relax and play off, right? And then when kind of just easy to read of what they're gonna do. I've seen a lot of people commenting on our offensive line in here though too, saying how they suck and this and that, whatever.
They were not good last week.
Well, our offensive line in the run game right now, our offensive line is the 7th ranked offensive line in the league.
Yeah,
I'm talking about pass
in the run game.
I felt like Atlanta, who wasn't great.
Yeah, pass protection, they're 14th.
The was there.
Yeah, they're 14th. I mean, they're still above
middle
the
of the
halfway
pack.
point. Yeah, but I mean, they're 14th in pass protection. We'll see if that changes at all with Nick being a little less mobile than Mitch, but. On the run side of it, man, this offensive line is 7th in the league in the running game stats and aspects. And I know that it's stats, whatever, but it's compared to the rest of the damn league. It's not like, just what you see. And I know it's only the run game. That's why I said the pass game, they're 14th. But either way, man, I think we see this, like I said, I think we see a more collective push in this run game. And
some of that goes back to your quarterback as well, putting them in the right position to know where pressure's coming from, stuff like that. So that'll help with Nick Foles out there as well, I think.
I don't know, Alicia Williams. I don't think that's Frank Reich setting anything up. Let him throw at the rookie. Jalen Johnson has played lights out. Let's go. Throw it at him. Let him pick it. I'm all for it. I'm all about it. I'm not this defense that we have. Are there things that need cleaning up? Yes. To me, it's from a coaching perspective. Aside from getting a body on the defensive line that can make an impact, the rest of this defense I'm not concerned about. I think if we have a body in there, our linebackers are able to do what's expected of them. We need to replace that piece in the middle of that defense, and this defense is what it was in 2018 to me. I've seen some knocks on Tashawn Gibson. I feel like Tashawn Gibson has played really well. He had the pick last week. He's coming up making plays in the run game when he has to. I'm not scared of any offense in this league coming against our defense. I think on that back end, we're one of the top teams in the NFL at receivers not making plays. Did it happen
Hilton
last week?
hasn't done much this year. I'm more, like I said, I'm more worried about Mo Alley Cox, and I think they get Jack Doyle back this week too.
Yep.
So
Jimmy Graham, or not Jimmy Graham, Trey Burton, excuse me, also activated.
Right?
He was activated this week. Wow, so we've got
news.
former Bear Trey Burton playing
against us. He might have anxiety playing against his former team.
We hit him once, and I'm sure he'll be on the sideline with another injury. So I'm not super concerned. But there's just things. There's teams in this league. Their offenses, some of them are very good, and it may start today with the Colts. It really started last week in Atlanta. Our defense can shut teams down. You've witnessed it. Have they done it for 4 full quarters? No. But when the time has come and they need to step up and make a play, they've done that. And I think that continues today.
Yeah, and I think this is just, it has to. You can't go in and get beat down this week and then try to go up against Tampa Bay on Thursday Night Football the following week. This is a big momentum game. It's a big I won't say prove it, but prove why you're undefeated game, right? Going against this Indianapolis team, and honestly, it's just set up perfectly, I think, to kind of get a little recognition off of a team that's built like these Colts are, man. Let's move into score predictions, bold predictions, and just off the wall type of things that you got, man. I'm gonna start with bold predictions first. We'll go around the room. Bold predictions. If you're in the chat, give us your bold predictions. Let us know what you think today. What's going to happen? Who's coming to get it? Who's not? We'll get score predictions here in a minute, but I'm going to go bold predictions. I'm going that we get 3 turnovers today. I'm saying that this defense frustrates, that they get after it. I'm calling 3 turnovers. I'm going with 1 returned. So I'll take a defensive touchdown. So 3 turnovers with a defensive touchdown. That's my bold prediction of the day. And I think that this defense is really going to come out and show that black and blue Bears defense. AC, bold predictions, man. What you got?
I don't know how bold it is. I'm rocking sweetness today, so I'm feeling like I'm going to go with a running back here. I think we're going to get my boy Montgomery going early and often, handing him the ball, passing him the ball. And I'm going to go with Montgomery gets 3 touchdowns today, 1 or 2 on the ground and the other one through the air. I think that's the key to victory, is to control the clock, run the ball, keep Phillip Rivers on that sideline, and I think that's what the Bears do. We come out and win this game 31-28, and Montgomery has a huge game today.
All right. I got to laugh because I see my man Gaines. Gaines in the chat, man. Foles, 6 TDs, no picks, and conveniently, Gaines just picked Foles up in our fantasy league. So this dude's got some inside information. Gaines, what's up, baby? You can't be stealing dudes like that.
He's got a hell of a quarterback room in our league.
Yeah, holy
Rodgers,
cow. Yeah,
he's just holding the ball.
Lamar Jackson.
All right, so my bold prediction, Bobby, I'm kind of piggybacking off of yours. You said the defense would have 3 turnovers, score a touchdown. Well, my man Jalen Johnson been balling out all season. He's going to be the guy that scores that touchdown with the pick 6.
Nice.
And then I've got an offensive bold prediction as well. And to me today, I think that Cole Kmet is going to get his first NFL touchdown in the red zone. I think you're going to see them try to use him and Jimmy Graham in similar fashion in the red zone today and try to get the big guys some targets. And it's going to be Cole Kmet that gets his first touchdown today.
Beautiful. So we got Badge's rookie bold predictions this week. Both sides going rookies.
Yep. Going to rookies, baby.
Look at you, all the rookies. I went rookies week 1, but either way, I think that's just we were a little high on rookies. I think the bold predictions are. I don't see any of them being too crazy, right? I think like this could literally fall into a game like, well, besides games, this could literally fall into a game like that. But man, if Foles comes out and throws 6 touchdowns, man, that halftime spot for Bear football and the after show, Jesus, you might as well
dude,
put your volume at level 2 because Gaines is gonna explode your speaker. And I'll go with on my score prediction, right? Score prediction, I'm gonna go with 31-20. There's no comeback, there's no come from behind type style, anything. 31-20. I think Foles controls this, gets after him. I think we see Darnell Mooney come out and have a really big game. And unfortunately, I think we see a good game, but a minimal usage style with Allen Robinson again. I feel like that's kind of what we've seen the last couple of weeks, where A-Rob just really hasn't been utilized to where we believe he should. But I'm going to go with Mooney having a big game. And
31-20 would be great for my heart, because these close games, man, they'll put me in the hospital.
And going with a 31-20. PSN RC 84 champ says Montgomery 25 plus carries for $190. You giving him any touchdowns, or is he just carrying the ball? Bold predictions: Ravi come up, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovered, 1 interception, 28-13 Bears. Okay, Ravi, going in the champ. Perry, Lambright, Mooney is going to have 60-plus yard touchdown. Oh, a 60-plus yard touchdown. See, we're on the same page. We're on the same page.
Perry Lambright also said there will be a back shoulder throw.
Tooch tried this again. He's going bold prediction: 0 positive COVID tests. he had said that before in one of the other ones. Score prediction, Badge. Did you give your score prediction?
I did not. So
what you got on scores?
My score prediction, man, I'm thinking the Bears put up some points today. 38-17, the Bears come out on top. Like AC said, my heart can't take it. I have a date night with my wife, so I'm not going to be able to watch most of it, so I'll have to catch it after the fact. But I don't think there's gonna need to be any heroics today. I think
it is supposed to be really rainy today, so that's another reason why I went with the running game in my bold prediction.
Oh, that's okay. You're good, bro. We could still put up 38 points with the run game. Come on.
I'll take it.
Liners look good, man. I think this is going to be a good day all around for the offense, the defense, special teams. We still got Carlos Santos. I'm kidding. It's Cairo Santos. I was just playing John Fox for a second there.
Carlos.
Yeah, right. And I'm excited to, have this team come out. And you know what? I said to you guys before the show, I'm not calling Big Dick Nick until he wins us a Super Bowl. But I think Big Dick Nick is going to show up today, and he's going to be swinging that thing around all game long.
Swinging it like a helicopter.
And I heard that he uses Manscaped as well. So, I mean, at least you know it's clean.
Barroom 20.
Yeah. Barroom 20 promo code. You got that revitalizer. You got the lotion, man. You got to get over there to Manscaped and get that thing done. I mean, talk about the perfect Christmas present.
Your balls will thank you.
We save balls, and your balls will thank you. Let me show you. Hold on. So the whole deal. I'm just kidding. It's just a Manscaped shirt. I'm not going to show you guys anything, but we got the Manscaped. We're ready to go. Rocking it underneath our Bears gear, and get over to Manscaped. Enter code Barroom20. Barroom's got plenty of things coming for you this week. Make sure you join. Hop in at halftime. See how little halftime thing is going. Love sausage. And then the after show, Bear football gains, and you got Aldo going in there. You got John Buffone. It's a jam-packed, just exciting show, man. They'll do all the after the post-game pressers, break down that for you. They'll break down the game for you, their thoughts and what they've seen in the game. And then we're going to go this Tuesday. We're going to bring you guys a little special show and come with a little fourth quarter, or the first quarter of of the season for all the NFC North teams. So we're going to kind of go through, recap the first quarter of the season for all the teams. It'll be quick hitting, just kind of roll through what every team's at and what they're doing and, where they're sitting on everything. Boys, I'll pass this over to you. If you guys got any shout outs or anything you want to say before we get out of here, any last minute, by the ways, whatever you guys got. Badge, start this thing off with you, man. What you got?
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. I know it just when everybody thought they were going to see Bobby's Wang, it just dropped from like 80 something to 30. But yeah, then it went quick back up, and a bunch of women are in here now. So, hey, it is what it is.
Order in the court.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Ravi, John Ryan, Perry Lambright, all you guys that are in the chat. We really appreciate you guys coming on, kicking it with us in the morning. Next week going to be a little bit different. Obviously the Bears playing on Thursday night. So it'll be a little bit different, coming to you guys not on a Sunday, but looking forward to it. We really appreciate you guys rolling with us every Sunday. Our downloads are really well, so people checking it out after the show, we appreciate y'all too. And getting to do this with my guys, man. Bobby, AC, Eldo holding it down behind the scenes, KB, we miss you, brother. And let's go. Let's get this win, fellas.
Yeah. I want to say shout out to everybody that stuck with us in the chat. I'm checking out YouTube right over here on my phone, and we have a chat of 69 right now. Nice. Ooh. So shout out to everybody in there. We try to get in with you guys as much as possible and interact with you guys. Shout out to my man KB. We're missing you this Sunday, brother. Shout out to Kentucky football for trying to break my heart yesterday and make me get stupid drunk. And shout out to the Chicago Bears, man. Let's get this dub today.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll wrap this thing up. Everybody in the bar room, everybody in the chat, like, thanks. You're the main reason. We love your guys' interaction, man, and love, just kind of talking smack back and forth with each other. Got a lot of stuff planned for you guys. Robbie, King, everybody in the chat, man. I see you guys popping in again, making your comments. Doug, we appreciate you guys being there with us every Sunday. Thursday, we'll come out and let you guys know. We're going to go with probably, a couple hours prior to game time again, but it's going to be more of a Thursday night setup. And go from there. We got a couple giveaways coming your way. Manscaped is going to hook us up. We got a couple things coming out to you guys. We got another sponsor that's joining the crew that we're going to be sending you guys some stuff out from them also. And we're just getting prepared, man. First quarter of football, we've made it. So today will finish the first quarter. 3 more left. This team's undefeated. Let's keep it going, man. We got to get this thing to 4-0 and then get an old Tom Brady in a Tampa jersey. You know what I'm saying? And get after this dude, man. So, as always, we appreciate you guys joining us in the chat, and bear down.
Bear down.